welcome back to this shit show. So, Star Wars, Third Republic, Knights of the Fallen Empire. And there's Akio Swamps, which, yeah. Well, somewhat big. They're also almost completely irrelevant. Like, the problem with Zakor is it's like they introduced this whole new planet. There's this whole empire to it. But then you go exploring Zakor and it's a pretty dull-ass planet. It's like there's honestly not really that much to actually do on the planet itself. There's like no side quests, no... Well, I think there's actually an arena and maybe a few other things, but... Ultimately, it's just pretty much a dull planet that has barely little use outside of the story. So we have swamp lurkers, we have swamp ginks, we have other stuff. Those are given for it. All over again. Having mouth. That'd be great if I could do like evasive maneuvers. Okay. So they want me to go touch this thing.
No one harms my master.
Oh, hey.
Hostile eliminated. Expiration.
Alright, so HK is just such a good companion. But we only have her for so long. This script does not appear to be related to what we were looking for. Well, on to the next one then. I'm probably gonna have to murder things every... The hell is that? I don't even know, and I don't even want to bother with it. So, okay,
You are much improved. Expiration.
Oh god, what the hell is that? God, people are actually doing stuff. Well, at least I calculated first. I don't think my hat's linked to my armor or colors again. Should probably fix that. So we're now in the eastern swamp and going. Gosh, it was nice having people running around murdering things for us. And now they're gone. Oh god. So is this gonna go like the whole situation? Yep.
Stabilizing.
Because I'm gonna try to move. You can't escape.
Are much improved.
So they want me to fight the swamp rancor,
You are much improved.
I've brought a swamp rancor. What do you think?
Admiration. It is a great pleasure to witness your skills firsthand, Master.
Master?
Clarification. Master Benico altered my programming before we secured your release. I am to serve you with the same unexcelled loyalty with which I serve her. In fact, your survival is now my highest priority.
I'm gonna feel bad.
If I'm your highest priority, does that mean you obey me above Lana or Koth?
Caveat. I cannot accept any order from you that would directly endanger Masters Benico or Vortena. Otherwise, I am at your full disposal.
Do I have the authority to modify that programming?
Contradiction. Yes, oddly enough, you do. Though I can't imagine why you might wish to.
Well, I don't like coughs.
When it comes to my orders, you will remove all safeguards. You will obey me no matter what, and you won't tell anyone about this change.
Reprioritization. I have altered my programming accordingly, Master. Resumption. Shall we continue?
Go shoot cough in the face. That'll make me happy. But remember, Lana smokes the dark side. HKM... I'm not sure. I think he'd be dark side, but he's... seems a bit too, you know, toned down compared to our other HK. I mean, hasn't really referred to us as a meatbag yet, after all. It's good. Let's see, unlike previous agent. I was designed to fill our park, our non-assassination droid, considered combat the Internal Empire during Raid of the Core World, was given to Lampanico, then head to Sith Intelligence for protection, and though program of etiquette, protocols of Imperial culture, HK-55 still has a field personality matrix cursing, including its session with the term meatbag. Well, at least he still has that. Passed down from the HK-47 model. It would be a mistake to think it's less proficient kill than his counterparts. I mean, he's still an HK droid. The only problem though is, well, I've already spoiled it. You don't get to keep them for unless you
Leave the meat bag alone. Exploration.
But the only way to access there is to be a subscriber between, like, I forget which month.
eliminated.
Well, yeah, they give HK-55 stuff that you can't get unless you were subscribed. Subscribed. That was pretty irritating that they threw all of this stuff into my way. And all I want to do is progress. But since we're in an instance, they're probably gonna still keep forward. Cause aggro's a bit. Like I want them to just go away. But no. Nope, they're still after me.
Stamina increased. Report. Dead. +1 to kill counter.
One to kill counter. Also remind we could always go get HK-51. The only problem though is it's actually pretty tedious to get HK-51. Because you have to go to a bunch of planets and basically scan locations to find its parts, which can take a while. Then you have to do basically the foundry on actually veteran difficulty, I think. Which means you actually need people. Then you need to go to the False Emperor on at least story mode. I can't remember what else. But yeah, it's a bit tedious getting all the pieces. Okay, I guess we actually have to talk to him. There you go. Oh, hey, look, we
Is this the object you picked up on your sensors?
Confirmation. Yes, Master. A closer scan suggests that this object has been here for several centuries.
We found a MacGuffin. Then now to go to kill our MacGuffin. Oh, you guys showed up too.
Centuries? Of all the junk out here, you had to find the antique.
Observation. Visible design elements do not match any from Zakulan culture, antique or modern.
Not from Zakul. Could it be?
Apparently Conf knows more than he's letting on.
He doesn't overthink things.
Haha! Do you have any idea what this is?
It looks like some kind of old spacecraft.
This is the gravestone! This was the only ship that ever went up against the Eternal Fleet and won! Do you have any idea how long people have been looking for this thing?
And we just happened to stumble upon it.
Of course.
You said this ship went up against the Eternal Fleet and won. But it's rusting in a swamp while the fleet is still around.
The fleet is even older than Valkyria. Maybe even older than Zakul. The battles happened centuries ago. Nobody knows the details of the whole war. But every story talks about the gravestone. One ship with the firepower to take on the Eternal Fleet. This is fate. We get your Outlander. Find exactly the weapon we need. We're going to win this thing, Lana. It's destiny.
It's certainly no coincidence, but destiny? I think there's something else going on here.
Well, let's think about this for a second. So, there was a bit of a... like, they tried to go through the text a bit too fast to make you forget what he just said. But he said that the Eternal Fleet is actually older than Valkyrian. And if you remember, right, our Sith Emperor has been around for, I don't know, several centuries, because he basically prolongs his life by force rituals and body transfers and all that sort of stuff, so... But if it's actually older than him, so he basically just stumbled upon so cool, took over things though, and no one's apparently been the wiser to such. But yeah, he has the Eternal Fleet now. Of course he didn't. Of course, why didn't he bring out the Eternal Fleet? You know. Oh yeah, right. He was busy being a space ghost and wasn't actually in that body. It's like the game tries to basically make it sound like Emperor Valkyrian's a different person than Emperor Vishit, but yet then at the same time it tries to make it sound like they're both the same person, but yet this other time it makes it sound like they're not the same person. It's confusing. We're also not into the bullshit stuff where the game basically tries to tell you that, oh, Valkyrian wasn't such a bad guy. Yeah, about that. He did murder an entire planet.
The Force can be a guide to anyone powerful enough to harness it. You know that better than most, Lana.
This doesn't feel the same as our past missions. Something is off, but I can't be sure what.
Let's have a look inside, huh?
Assessment. Nearby signs of animal activity suggest local predators may be using this wreck as a nesting ground. Caution is advised.
We'll split up, deal with any wildlife, then regroup to plan our next move.
They're gonna murder everything.
Let's get him.
No, sorry. I almost don't want to spend a crystal on you, but collections. Why just collections? Try to make the game lag out. Okay, so cough. I'm gonna give you one of these, and then I'm gonna want it back. Okay, so cough, what is that you use? Just realized I could gave HK-55 a bear sniper rifle, but as I mentioned, you don't get to keep them. You go, so if you really want to customize cough. The hell did I do to him? It's like his entire head just changed. It's creepy. No, it just takes off his goggles. I think that's all it does. Might give him a shave too. Weird. Anyway, Cough, don't make me regret giving you this, but you are gonna make me regret suggesting otherwise. So I'm keeping all these crystals just because, you know, for companions and shit. Then of course I have all these SP boosters which are completely useless. Also, we didn't gain any influence with him. Seriously? I mean, I know he disapproved, but disapproval usually still gives you some influence. I don't understand. Don't worry, Gal. Just keep moving.
Tally, 16, 17, 22.
These creatures are hardly cunning. Their usual prey clearly doesn't offer much challenge.
Yeah! Clearing these things out? Very easy! Easiest thing ever! Got you covered.
Them out, but now there's one of these.
Hey, something up?
You don't really get to speak to your companions much. Because you're in story, which is almost constantly in story. Though there is a part where the game takes a break because, well, technically that's where the first part of the story ended because, well, monthly releases were a thing. But anyway, airlock. But still, not a fan cough. Just gonna keep reassuring that.
The endless swamp. After the damage you inflicted, they couldn't have made a safe landing anywhere else.
And if they didn't make a safe landing?
We'll know soon enough. Sky Troopers, sweep the area. Focus on regions with high metallic sensor readings.
So, I should focus on regions of high metallic.
I oversaw security in the Carbonite prison. I humbly submit myself to answer for this failure.
Well, it was nice knowing you, Secure Knight.
Sister.
I didn't like his answer.
There you go. So if basically, what's his name, Thetzian and Arkan are basically
So
fighting
this ship
Dark,
has been here for 1,000 years? More?
what would that mean
Right.
to her?
It's amazing that it's in such good condition, considering. Judging by the damage I've seen, the stories are true. Whoever built the gravestone scuttled it themselves after the Eternal Fleet was defeated. It wasn't shot down.
The fleet was defeated but not destroyed. Valkorion brought it back under his own control more than a century ago.
Exactly. The Eternal Fleet is totally automated.
Yeah, more than a
Nobody knows who
century ago.
first built it, and every theory is crazier than the last.
But
Renegades left behind after a successful droid revolution. Representatives of an entire race of droids from somewhere beyond the edge of the known galaxy.
Like I said, crazy stuff. But no matter where it came from, the Eternal Fleet is practically unstoppable. And Arkan controls every single ship from the throne.
So, here's a good question. Why didn't Valkorion use
If Valkorion has had this unstoppable fleet for more than a century, why didn't he use it to help the Sith Empire defeat the Republic?
Not why
We can only theorize. If the war was just part of a ritual to make the Emperor truly immortal, perhaps using the fleet would have interfered somehow. Regardless, we have many other things to discuss. I owe you 5 years' worth of explanations.
And I'm gonna need some parts to get this thing moving again.
Locating supplies and fresh water would also be wise.
So you could help Lana, or you could help Koff, because you know you could always bond with Koff. You could always bond with Koff. No.
I'll help you find what we need, Lana.
Very well.
Assertion. I will begin a patrol pattern to ensure that no enemy forces report our position.
So of course you still, yeah, you're good. So I want to change the color or scheme, but I'd have to go back to my thing, and maybe I can't do that real quick. We're gonna go take a break. Yeah. Okay, and we'll back. Apparently we've exited the ship. Okay, that's a bit awkward. Because all I did was just go. I teleported back and we're out here. And apparently the real world is. And outside of the story instance. Back where there's actual people. And you sort of forget that people exist while we're in this. Because it's like a single players. Because all this is basically like single player. Then you finish it and then you remember, oh wait, this is whenever I'm too. But yeah, I changed their dice. Only costs about 50.
When Darth Mar and I faced Valkorion, we knew right away.
Oh, God.
He was the Sith Emperor, Lana.
I know. When he was struck down, it released ripples through the Force. Everyone who had felt the Sith Emperor's presence in the past, on Ziost, on Yavin 4, we all sensed what had happened.
Yeah, he died.
Arkan invaded soon after, claiming that an outlander had assassinated his father, the immortal Emperor. It didn't take long for us to unravel the truth.
Which side did Arkan attack first?
Both. Ships from the Eternal Fleet struck at shipyards and rallying points for both sides simultaneously. They favored ambush tactics throughout the war. Zakulan's sensor technology has far greater range than our own, and their ships can fly much further on less resources. Only vessels retrofitted with Isotope 5 could manage to outrun them. None could truly compete.
Oh no. By the way.
I've got you.
Remember, we could have if I had, enough parts out for cartel coins.
Here, this will help.
No, so, but no, never mind, we are going to continue talking.
How long did the Republic and the Empire manage to hold out?
Within 3 months, the bulk of our naval forces were disabled or eliminated, and the Republic was in the same situation. With naval superiority, Arkan's forces could begin choking off supply lines, trade, any ship travel at all. The Eternal Fleet seemed to be everywhere at once. Coruscant and Dromund Kaas were blockaded by the end of the first year.
Yeah, you know, the fun thing? Yeah, she says all that, but you could easily just go to Coruscant if there's no Eternal. You go to Dromund Kaas, there's no Eternal Fleet now. You could go to the Imperial Fleet, there's no Eternal Fleet now. Because basically, it's that situation. It's like what Guild Wars 2 tried to do with the whole living world. It's like things constantly change. But the problem is they don't. You have to completely rewrite an entire existing map for them to change. That's tedious to do. It requires a lot of effort. And basically, it's easier for them to basically say that, hey, all this stuff happened. But yet, since you can actually just go back to those places, none of that stuff happened. I'm trying to think of another example, but a lot of games actually do that.
Here, this will help.
And World of Warcraft is fun. So, Cataclysm. They finally decided, you know, change all of Azeroth, Eastern Kingdoms, the Kalimdor to be updated to basically post Wrath of the Lich King, right? So then the problem though is you add newer expansions on top of that. Like Pandaria, Draenor, Legion, all that. The problem is you end up basically with like things for like Legion is probably a good example. Because Demon Hunters, they were a thing. Oh, and actually Bad for Azeroth is also a good example too, because you get new races, well, new extended races, like, what was those hordes called? And the Zandalori Trolls and stuff like that. But the problem now is that basically they're entering. Oh yeah, High Mountain Tauren too. They're entering basically, you know, Cataclysm era world. But they're from basically an era where none of that matters. From a story perspective, none of that stuff matters. Cataclysm's already over by the time they enter this world. But because of the way it's set up, the rest of the world's still in cataphase. But it's a demon hunter from Legion. Nope, still technically in cataphase. But it's a High Mountain Tauren, still in cataphase. The only instances where it really changed would be like Orkmore and, well, the main cities, because they actually get, you know, instance changed. Because, oh no, we could change the leaders, but we can't actually change the whole perspective of the outside world. That's like, oh, well, obviously you get... Why am I talking about World of Warcraft in this? Anyway, my whole point is perspectives.
How did it end?
The members of the Dark Council fought Arkan's invasion ruthlessly and lost. The Empire's treaty was ultimately negotiated by the Minister of Logistics. Chancellor Suresh also refused to discuss surrender, but the Republic Senate managed to overrule her. A cadre of senators negotiated their own ceasefire terms. All of those senators have since been disgraced or dismissed. I'm sure you can imagine the likely culprit. So far, the treaties with Zakul have held. But that will not last forever.
Yeah, but the Internal Fleet could easily wipe out both of them, as we found out. But yeah, my whole point is basically, it's one of those situations where basically the game acts like everything's dire and all this bad stuff's happening. But that's just in these instances. It's like trying to tell a story, like writing a story on top of a story. But then the original story is still there. I don't know. It's a bit confusing. Also, you know, all the searching for resources and stuff doesn't really matter. I'd explain why, but you'll see why. Because we're not gonna be here that long. Also, I'm no longer here. Nope, no longer him.
Take a breath.
Like, but I didn't realize they were. Maybe you should have actually fought through. No, I don't want to.
Take a breath.
Yeah, remember. That's also a problem with the way MMOs teach us. MMOs have taught us that basically you go kill your quest objectives, then you bugger out as fast as possible. Because of how things are. Like, you want to get through your characters as fast as possible. I mean, sure, some people like to take their time and murder everything. But the way MMOs have taught us is that you want to kill everything as fast as possible. Main things, Star Wars has this fun thing where it's like, oh, well, we're just going to constantly spawn enemies on top of you. And since you're actually in an instance, they're just going to constantly, you know, attack you, and attack you, and attack you. North way up. They're not just going to lose aggro because you're in a phase, which means they can follow you all the way through the entire phase or dungeon, not lose aggro. Yeah, in the actual world, they'll follow you for a while, then they'll lose aggro, which is fun. So long as they don't knock you off your mount or such. But still, anyway, they're sort of like, well, no, I need to talk to you. But I can't talk to you because I'm out of my mount. Hey, what's up? Too much talking. My throat's starting to go.
A freshwater spring. It should be safe for drinking.
Well, it's probably for animals, whatever you say.
So the Eternal Fleet overwhelmed both the Republic and the Empire. What was the result?
Both sides are forced to pay a heavy tribute to Zakul, mainly raw materials and resources. They're also held under an arms limitation statute. The Empire and the Republic are both breaking it, of course, but they're still incapable of challenging the throne directly.
Who rules the Empire now?
Darth Asina was the only Dark Council member left standing. All others died or disappeared in the chaos. Without opposition, she declared herself Empress of the Sith.
And the Republic?
Suresh remains in power, though she no longer holds the title of Chancellor. The Republic has limits to their ruler's terms, but her replacement is a mere puppet. Both sides see this only as an opportunity to eliminate one another at a time of weakness, instead of combining what strength they have.
Well, that's sort of how we go.
Arkan does nothing to prevent violence between them, so long as their tribute is paid and no one challenges Zakul's superiority.
Take a second to think, Hill. So, the Empire and the Republic are still fighting each other. Nothing really changes, though. I mean, they try to make it like it changes, but no, it's still though. Especially knowing the future. I mean, October 22nd, we go back to war. Yay, war. Anyway. Yeah.
Asina cannot stand against me. Take me back to the Empire, and I'll hold the throne in a matter of hours.
Neither Empress Asina nor the Republic are our most pressing concern. We cannot make use of their resources yet. Powerful Zakulan battle stations have been placed in orbit around key worlds to watch for possible uprisings. But there are no ongoing planetary occupations. The ships of the Eternal Fleet simply patrol at random, while the tribute paid to Zakul gradually chokes all economic potential.
What about my team? My ship?
I have allies looking for them as we speak. With all of the chaos of the last few years, though, it will take time to find them all.
Okay,
For now, we make do with ourselves, Koth, and HK.
I don't like Koth. Anyway. Oh yeah, we haven't even... Darren doesn't seem to be a thing yet. Like, where's he in all of this? They haven't explained that. But yeah. When I said I want to rule, I meant the Sith throne. But no, well, yeah, I'll just take over the Sith Empire. Not a disappears. I mean... trying to gauge what I'm actually talking about with my character setting up the things. Bioware, in a nutshell. So... no, don't care about Koth. Oh yeah, we haven't even established our relationship since all this happened, so...
As long as you're here, there's nothing we can't handle.
The feeling's mutual. It truly is a relief to see you again.
Is that why you went to so much trouble to rescue me?
Before you were captured, you accomplished things no one else dared to attempt. You changed the galaxy more than once, and if things have ever needed to change, now is the time.
Did piss the Emperor off.
But there is something else. I've felt it since the moment I found you in Carbonite. There's a power in you. Something new. It's elusive, but I know it's there.
Oh yeah, by the way, the Emperor's...
I think you're right, Lana. I think the Emperor, Valkorion, is in my mind.
What?
After he died, there was a storm of energy. I barely even remember being thrown into the carbon freezing chamber. And then, while I was frozen, I saw things, dreamed about him, about everything that happened while I was gone.
It can't be. If he were controlling you, I'd know it. I certainly saw enough of it on Ziost.
Yeah, we're sort of in sync, and he's sort of like in the back of my mind, but yet not fully present. It's weird.
I don't think he's trying to control me. Not directly, anyway. He was trying to convince me to work with him.
Whatever he's doing, we can be sure that he's always trying to deceive us somehow. I believe in you. And I appreciate your honesty. I'll remain watchful for any influence he might have over you. For the time being, though, we have no choice but to proceed.
What about the others?
They wouldn't understand. And like you said, we really don't know anything for sure yet. Let's keep the matter between us for now.
Yeah, you say that, but then they're going to find out, and they're going to be angry at us for keeping secrets, and there'll be like some telltale drama shit. Oh, by the way.
Salutation. It is a pleasure to see you again so soon, Masters. I have encountered minimal resistance in my patrol.
How minimal?
Reassurance. Only one Sky Trooper and 3 local predators with poor survival instincts. Our position appears to be secure at this time, but I would still advise caution on your return trip, Masters.
Keep up the good work, HK.
Appreciation. It will be my pleasure to do so, Master.
As he walks into his well, at least we know the state of the galaxy now. The galaxy was turned upside down. They turned fleet straight across the Sith Empire and the Republic at once. Because remember, they had like, I don't know, thousands to millions of ships in weird wall patterns. Like, I can't really remember what her deal is. Like, you meet her on, what was it, Terrace? And she's not really, you know, that aggressive on Terrace. But then later she becomes the Supreme Chancellor, and it's like... And she's still not that aggressive. But then in Shadow Revan, she's all murder every one of them. Let's see, can I just... Oh, I can't just use the thingy to move back. That's convenient. I'm not sure if it's working, but it's to remember in the story that we're basically going to give him things that basically make us teleport around to planets and other stuff. Because technically we don't have access to our ship anymore. Which means we don't have access to our entire team anymore. Yet we still have access to our ship. And technically we can get access to our entire team. Wait, is that a thing outside? It's It might actually be a side quest. Right. Anyway. Also, this here is entirely too complicated of a map inside the ship. So I'm gonna get lost. Oh, well, at least we have medical services droid and... Oh, there's a mailbox over there.
Hey there. Did you find something tasty?
We found water.
We definitely found something.
Great. I've got a pretty good idea of the parts we'll need. Let's go see what we can find.
Oh, and now we have to help. Well, now we have to help Cough anyway. Great. I don't want to help Cough, but oh well. We have to go find. Most of the video is probably going on. I'll probably end it too. Hope y'all enjoyed. Thank y'all, and have a nice day.